woman does not know that woman.
Oh, wow.
And as I'm thinking...
What began as a routine morning on The View suddenly erupted into one of the most heated media firestorms the show had seen in years. The cameras were rolling, the audience was relaxed, and the hosts were ready to dissect the day's headlines, until a single, unexpected moment changed everything. In a bold, on-air statement, Whoopi Goldberg triggered a national conversation that spread far beyond the studio walls. Her words didn't just spark disagreement. They set off a chain reaction involving executives, celebrities, politicians, and millions watching from home. What followed was a whirlwind of leaked memos, online uproar, internal conflicts, and questions about how media handles sensitive issues. This summary captures that unfolding drama with clarity and humanity. The morning that turned into a media earthquake. From the moment the hosts began discussing the DOJ's announcement about there being no Epstein client list, the tension in the studio was unmistakable. The topic was already touchy, but it was Whoopi's unexpected response that froze the room. She delivered her thoughts with a sharp conviction that startled the audience and even some of her co-hosts. Her remarks were framed around broader concerns about accountability and the way the public treats political figures, but their impact was immediate and explosive. Viewers took to social media within minutes, turning the clip viral. What had begun as a typical segment transformed into a moment that demanded attention from producers, executives, and audiences around the country. The aftermath. Behind closed doors. Once the cameras cut to commercial, the studio was thrown into controlled chaos. Crew members scrambled to regroup, unsure of how to handle the unexpected shift in tone. According to behind-the-scenes accounts, producers were caught off guard, debating how to navigate the fallout while executives rushed to assess risks, both legal and public relations related. Voices were raised, strategies thrown together, and the uncertainty was palpable. Meanwhile, the outside world was reacting in real time. Social media filled with arguments, hot takes, and emotional reactions on all sides. The producers knew they had a moment on their hands that wasn't going to fade quickly. Internally, the mood shifted from confusion to full crisis management, setting the stage for bigger battles ahead. A nation divided and a network under pressure. The clip ricocheted through media outlets, each framing the situation differently. Some praised Whoopi for speaking boldly, while others condemned her remarks. ABC's silence only deepened the divide, as viewers interpreted the lack of a response in different ways. Longtime fans of the show argued among themselves, wondering whether Whoopi had crossed a line or simply expressed what needed to be said. The situation was made even more complicated because of her past controversies, raising questions about how far a host could go before the network intervened. Advertisers began reevaluating their positions, and political figures reportedly reached out to ABC privately. Even as the noise grew louder, Whoopi remained quiet, at least for the moment, leaving the public waiting for her next move. Whoopi's defiant return to the screen. When Whoopi finally addressed the situation the following Monday, she didn't retreat or soften her stance. Instead, she faced the camera with unwavering calm and delivered a message that reignited the debate. Her refusal to back down won over many viewers who admired her unapologetic tone, while critics claimed she was escalating the controversy. Her words shifted the conversation away from any single political figure and toward much bigger themes. How media regulates speech, who gets to challenge authority, and what happens when powerful institutions feel threatened. With her declaration, Whoopi positioned herself not just as a co-host offering commentary, but as a voice pushing against boundaries that many viewers hadn't seen tested on daytime television in years. The leak that lit a fuse inside ABC. The drama intensified when an internal memo surfaced, allegedly labeling Whoopi as a risk due to her unscripted remarks. Whether the memo was official or not, its circulation sent shockwaves through the public and inside the studio. The network's vague response added fuel to speculation that something deeper was unfolding behind the scenes. Internally, tension among the cast reportedly grew thicker. Disagreements emerged over how the show should navigate politically sensitive topics. Producers began tightening editorial control, hoping to prevent another unplanned moment from spiraling. Advertisers quietly backed away, deepening the stress on ABC's leadership. What began as a single moment on live TV had now snowballed into questions about censorship, creative freedom, and how much control a network should have over its hosts, escalating division among co-hosts and audiences. The fallout wasn't limited to executives. It began shaping relationships among the co-hosts. Some stood strongly with Whoopi, appreciating her willingness to confront uncomfortable topics. Others reportedly felt blindsided, arguing that certain subjects carried too much risk for a live daytime show. On-air chemistry became noticeably strained, with body language and awkward pauses hinting at deeper disagreements. Meanwhile, viewers online battled over the meaning of Whoopi's comments. Supporters framed her as fearless and authentic, while critics claimed the show was straying from responsible journalism. Celebrities chimed in from both sides, adding more noise to an already crowded conversation. This moment transformed The View from a talk show into a symbolic battleground for larger cultural debates. A new whistleblower and the intensifying mystery. Just as the uproar seemed to reach its peak, a second whistleblower amplified the situation. This individual, reportedly from another network, claimed that discussions about Epstein and high-profile connections had been suppressed in multiple media organizations over the years. Digital documents and unused footage circulated online, reigniting public demand for answers. Whether these claims were verified or not within the narrative, they added emotional weight to the story, making Whoopi's stand seem bigger than a single show or a single episode. Support increased from activists, survivors, and ordinary viewers who felt issues of accountability were long overdue. As pressure mounted, ABC realized the controversy had evolved beyond its control, and remaining silent would only worsen public perception. Whoopi's refusal to be silenced. ABC's warning to Whoopi, couched in corporate language about editorial guidelines, was intended to rein her in, but it had the opposite effect. On the next episode, she addressed the controversy head-on, emphasizing her belief in speaking for those who didn't have platforms of their own. Her statement resonated deeply with the audience, prompting an outpouring of support from viewers who admired her courage. Petitions circulated, hashtags trended, and the network unexpectedly found itself on the defensive. Even co-hosts who had appeared distant began clapping in solidarity. In the public eye, Whoopi's comments shifted from a moment of controversy to a symbol of standing firm in the face of pressure. Her resilience became the narrative's emotional center. The turning point that changed everything. The combined pressure from viewers, celebrities, activists, and even media watchdogs created a storm that ABC could no longer ignore. With two whistleblowers, widespread public scrutiny, and increasing attention on transparency, the network faced a pivotal decision. Ultimately, ABC released a statement affirming its support for open conversation, confirming that Whoopi would remain on the show without restrictions. For many, this felt like a victory, not just for Whoopi, but for the idea that television hosts should have room to question complex topics without fear of immediate censorship. The resolution brought relief, but also raised lingering questions about trust in media and what remains hidden behind closed corporate doors. A story that became bigger than a TV moment. What began as a single unscripted statement evolved into a wide-ranging conversation about truth, media responsibility, and the power of asking difficult questions. Through intense backlash, internal conflict, public debate, and growing support, Whoopi emerged not just as a co-host, but as a symbol of persistence. The saga highlighted how quickly a televised moment can become a cultural turning point, especially when it touches on themes people feel deeply about. In standing her ground, Whoopi became the unexpected center of a national dialogue that stretched far beyond daytime television, reminding viewers everywhere that sometimes the boldest voices come from the most unexpected places.